last year, actually, I received a download that I was to take people, well, one, love on tour. So these are the three retreats that I'm doing this year, and also to open the doors to the mystery school. So at this time, we have moved into a higher vibration. And so what I started to receive is, as we've moved into these higher vibrations, we can now go in, and we are being given the keys to the mystery school. So before, like 2 years ago, we couldn't go into these spaces, but now, as our vibration is rising and we have more, we are more evolved and our consciousness has evolved, the mystery schools are now opening their doors to us. So this is welcoming us into the mystery schools. So I received last year, the Egyptian mystery schools I started taking people into, and then the Essenes, which is now, and also I received the Emerald Tablets. So I'm going to take people into the Emerald Tablets as well this year. But there's a timing for everything. There's a divine alignment. So I don't like to rush these things. I wait till the right month and the right energy. And this is the right month for the Essenes. And it was kind of mapped, but it's come through very perfectly. And the Emerald Tablets will be in September. So I'm trusting, again, the alignment of that, because we are going to quantum jump each month, every month. So when we do the Emerald Tablets, and the frequency of the Emerald Tablets is just going to be pure heart energy. So it's going to be very, very powerful. And I discovered recently my connection to the Essenes, and that I was an Essene, and I've always felt that, and I'm sure many of you have felt that deep inside. You'll have a knowing that you come from the Essenes, and you are part of that community. And Essene means secret and silent ones, secret, and also they had a name of the chosen ones. So chosen ones and closest to God. So they were a very highly evolved, community that was connected to Source and God, and they used the word God, and they were very powerful healers, and they were very, very respected in the community. So people would come from all over to see the Essenes because they were amazing healers. They had such a deep faith in God and oneness that whenever they did their healing, it would just flow automatically, and it would just be very profound. So people came from all over the place to them. They were respected, and Christ was one of them. He is an Essene. So his mother Mary, and then Mary Magdalene married into that family as well. So they are one of the most ancient initiates on earth, and they go back centuries. So we are mapping and going back to our roots. And what I'm finding is that the community and the people that are coming into my life now are really like the ancient ones. We're kind of finding each other at this time. The soul family is coming back together, and what I feel at this time is we're going higher into the hearts, and we're coming to this apex, almost like the mountain and the top, not the top of the mountain. And now this gathering that's coming together is the souls that understand about one consciousness and understand about divine love. And this is a gathering of minds and hearts and energy, and coming back to your community, your soul tribe. So we're finding each other at this time, but now it's going to get even more focused, and it's going to become very focused, and also the alignments are going to be really, really strong. And at this time, we are being called for helping humanity, because if you look at our world, it's crazy out there. And so we have to find that peace and that centeredness within us. And this journey is a 4-week container. And the words I was given was forgiveness, grace, presence, peace, love, and compassion. And I'm going to try and do it all in the 4-week container, rather than dragging it into 6 weeks. But today is forgiveness and grace. We're going to look at those two. Forgiveness is really, really key if we are to evolve into one consciousness and our higher calling, and being the presence of God. Then we have to learn to forgive. So it's very easy as a human to get caught up in our ego, and the ego loves drama, right? But then there's the higher self and the spirit that understands the higher picture and taking a higher view and understanding, okay, what did I need to learn from this? How have I evolved? Who have I become through this journey? So we have to kind of, you go through the human journey, you feel like the victim, you feel hurt, but then you step back up into your higher self and your God self, and you understand that, okay, why have I learned this? What was I understanding here? What didn't I heal in my past life that I've now come to learn in this lifetime? So it's a kind of a journey of just going up and higher. And the Essenes believed that God created man and woman in its own eyes, God in God's own eyes. And truly, when we really understand that on every level, we will become one. And this is where we are moving back beyond duality and back into oneness. We can talk about being one with God and one with one consciousness and one with the divine. But when we truly see the divine within us, that is the day we return home. So we kind of slip in and out of that. Sometimes we see it, sometimes we don't. Sometimes we fall back into our human self, and sometimes we don't. And the Essenes had such deep faith in God and their healing abilities that they healed so many people. So, as a healer, we are here as healers on this planet to help the planet thrive through this time and to reconnect with the divine feminine energy and help Mother Earth thrive. And when we doubt our healing, we push God away, and we let our ego get in the way, and we also get in the way of the healing. And just this last week, I've had about 5 people come to me saying, Neelam, I've been to other psychics, I've been to psychics, and they said this, and it's thrown me completely off, right? I had another lady today. It completely threw her off. And you have to be very mindful of and discerning about who you go to and who they are, because not everyone is grounded and not everyone has that deep faith in spirit to get out of the way and bring the messages across. So you have to listen to your discernment. And also, if you're receiving messages, you've got to listen to your own gut. Does it feel aligned for you? Does it feel like truth for you? So it's really about being grounded in yourself and knowing yourself deeper. And even as a healer, knowing your healing abilities, and having faith in God that Spirit, the Holy Spirit, is speaking through your words, and letting go of the ego mind. So that's it's a practice, and you do it over time, but it is to have the faith, and that's when the healing becomes so powerful that it can be instant. It can be instant. And we've seen that as healers. We've seen that over the years, where people have been healed instantly because we've got out of the way and we've just let the God, one source, do the work through us. So we don't get in the way, we don't resist, and we don't block the path. So this journey, we're going to be working with Mary Magdalene, we're going to be working with Mother Mary, and we're going to be working with Christ. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take you into the Essenes mystery schools, and you're going to get to walk around the Essene village. So I'm going to take you into the village, you're going to stroll around, you're just going to feel energetically. Everything we do here is energetic. But once you enter that portal and you want to enter that space, your mind, your heart starts to remember, your soul starts to remember, your heart starts to remember, and things start to open up inside of you. And they had very advanced technologies, like spiritual technologies, that were way beyond, light years beyond what we have now. So even going into that space, you may see yourself doing something, and you may feel that you shared something in that lifetime, or that you might see yourself singing or toning. But this is just all those memories being opened, those doors being open for you to gather and bring back to you who you were and what role you played and the wisdom that was around you in those times. So it's really, really important. And they discovered the Dead Sea Scrolls in 1941, and there were 800 scrolls that they found. And the third one was a copper scroll that said that there was a treasure map that they had located, and the archaeologists went back to Jerusalem to find it in a temple in Jerusalem, and they couldn't find the treasure. And they still say to this day that they were looking in the wrong place, that the treasure is actually in Egypt. So they were very deeply connected to Egypt and the sun god Ra. And the sun god Ra followed the teachings of one consciousness, and Ra is about one consciousness. And Ra is very, very present right now as he is gathering, the group consciousness is gathering the children of the light, the children of the sun. They're all being called, and many of the people who've come into Egypt have heard, Ra contacted me, or Ra is guiding me to Egypt right now. So there's a gathering, there's a convergence happening, and we are being called back to come back together to remember our spiritual technologies and to really help the planet thrive through this time and remember our gifts. So, when we can access our gifts, and we're not here to just accumulate wealth. We have the wealth is our gifts, our natural spiritual gifts that are within us. And once we can connect with that, abundance flows in many ways because we are connected to the source of who we are and why we actually came here. So it's really important to get back to knowing your spiritual gifts, knowing your divine blueprint, and knowing who you truly are. That's more important than any wealth you'll accumulate. You can have all the money in the world, but if you're not happy inside, if you're not connected to your spirit and your soul, you'll be miserable because it won't fill you, because you're here for a higher purpose. We are all here for a higher purpose, and it is natural, our natural way to help people. It is our natural way as human beings to help others. And this time on earth, we are being called to help others. So, and also to just raise your vibration and raise your light. Yeah. So we are going to go on a journey. I'm going to let it flow and just trust what comes through, but we're going to take you into the mystery school and just open the locks and just let you in, and then you're just going to go on your own journey. We'll guide the journey, but we're going to look at forgiveness today and what they want to say, what Christ wants to say about forgiveness. Trust the people that come to you. And when you go to a healer and the healer says, and they ask you, can you help me with this? And you immediately from your heart say, yes, I can help you. That's source speaking through you, and source knows that they can absolutely help you. Of course you can. When you connect back to the Holy Spirit, you can help anyone. So it's not to get in the way of the healing, but to trust. When you hear the yes, I can help you, it's coming from a deeper place, and it's coming from one consciousness, and it's coming from the Holy Spirit. And our role here is to be that conduit of light in our purest form and let the wisdom and the light come through us. So the Essenes worked with prayer. They worked with technologies and just biblical texts as well. So prayer was a very big one for them, and fasting, purifying the body, and then sharing their wisdom with others. So very, very wise, very, very ancient. And their teachings are, incredible. So brotherhood of light, sons of the sun, carrying the universal teachings which will bring peace to our troubled world. So this is where we are heading back to, and we are all needed now to help the world, evolve and come back to peace. And the most important thing for us is to be peaceful within ourselves. So if we do lose it, to have your tools where you gather yourself and come back into peaceful presence and peaceful center. So we are going to go on a 4-week journey. So we got today, and then next week we're not going to have a session because we've got our DNA activations, which are once a month. But then after that is the following 3 weeks. So we'll finish on the 3rd of August. Will be the last session. So, but you are in this container now, and as you are in this container for July, you will keep receiving revelations, healing, a lot of healing in the heart will be coming, a lot of emotions that you haven't released, and a lot of peace in this container, because July is an emotional month, and it's bringing up a lot of things for people. It's bringing up things that were not resolved to the surface. It's bringing up past hurts because it's being washed up to the surface for you to look at and understand. And also anger, I have felt in this container, is coming up from past hurts or where you haven't forgiven souls. Anger for the injustice. And so that is coming up as well to be, healed and washed out. So when we bring so much love into the container, you will be able to let go and let it wash out and hand it up to spirit.